on the court. What was that like for you, and how difficult was this game just overall for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was just a very physical game. I don't think either team was really getting the whistle like that, so it was really physical, and we had to battle through some stuff. I think just it was a defensive game. The score was like 20-20 at halftime, so we knew it was going to be hard. And then found out I've never fouled out before, so it was kind of hard just going through that. But I knew my teammates would hold it down.
Bugs, just talk about how everybody else had to step up. I mean, Talia's out, Jana's out. I mean, there's, it kind of put more on all of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't ever want our point guards to go out. We need them for sure. They're our floor generals, but I think everybody else definitely stepped up, and we focused at the end. We knew we had to get a stop. It came down to stops. Like she said, it was a very defensive game, physical game, and we knew they were coming at us. So I just think that we did a really good job stepping up and really just focusing down the stretch.
Talia, when shots aren't falling and it is a physical game and all of that, how do you stay focused? How do you stay in the game when it can get pretty frustrating?
Yeah, I think just kind of relying on defense, right, and just finding any way to impact the game, whether it's defensively, whether it's rebounding, whether it's getting my teammates involved, just finding different ways to impact the game. Scoring is only just one part of the game, and there's multiple facets that I feel like I can contribute to, and so just locking in and trying to work on contributing in those ways, and then hoping shots will fall in and still keeping that confidence high.
And then Bugs, I think right after Talia and Jana fouled out, there was a stretch there where you got a block and then I think got a tie up and back-to-back. It was quick there. I guess how much did you have to lean on defense at that point in the game?
Everything came down to defense. When we held it up, it wasn't about offense. It was, make your free throws, but we're talking about, hey, who's your matchup? Know who has, this person. Are we going zone? Are we going to stay in man? Knowing score. It was definitely just down the stretch. We just had to focus on defense. It meant everything. Every rebound, boxing out meant 10 times more. So we just really had to focus, especially at the end there with it being a close game.
1,000 rebounds for your career. I mean, were you counting? Is this something that you wanted? Is that a milestone you wanted to reach?
Definitely a milestone I wanted to reach. Honestly and truly, I didn't know until this morning. I guess it was a coincidence a little bit. I actually was on Instagram and saw somebody have 1,000 rebounds, and I was like, hey, let me go check how many I have. I know I can't be too far behind, and I checked, and it was 990. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that today. I told some teammates, y'all, I have 10 more. But it wasn't the main focus because, when you want to get something, it's usually really hard to get it because you're too focused on that. I think I just came in hey, we have to play Colorado. And granted, I look up and I see, I have to get maybe 2 more. But that wasn't actually the whole focus. The whole focus definitely was on Colorado and, boxing out and rebounding. And I think just matchup-wise, it was not easier because she was going to the boards, but it was good because I was guarding somebody that goes to the board, so it's okay, you have a better chance of getting that rebound. So, yeah, it's super huge. I'm so happy to get it. So, yeah.
Bugs, Yu-Ting came off the bench and scored a couple, key threes for you guys. I mean, she had a really good game against Iowa State as well. So what did that mean to the team to have her come off the bench hot and help you guys out?
It means a lot. When Ting has confidence, we all have confidence, and we give it to Ting. Nothing can stop her. And I think she missed some early, and they were open, and she was kind of hesitant. But I think we just poured into her, and that's something that we just love to do. And she kept her head up. She made those shots. She's made for those shots. She hits those shots all the time. So nothing new for her, but she knows she has to step up and hit shots, and we're not gonna let up. And if you miss your first 2 shots or whatever, just know you're gonna get it back because we believe in her.
Bugs, I think we were talking to Kyla before this game, and she was talking about Bella's defense and how she's the head of that defensive snake, and how much in a game like this. How much does Bella give you energy with the charges she's drawing and just kind of the physical play that she has out there?
She gives us a lot of energy. I think Bella does a lot of the dirty work, a lot of stuff that usually players don't want to do. She takes those charges, she takes those hits through hurting. She's taking them, and she knows that. She knows she's the head of the snake on defense, so she knows she has to show up every night, and I think she takes pride in that. And I think we pour into her too, hey, you have to help us. We have to guard our yard and whatnot on defense, but she has to take those. I tell her all the time. I tell all my teammates. Sometimes when we take charges, we take hits, we're tired. I'm like, you got to take that. Like, we need that. So I'll definitely let you catch your breath. But a couple times I told the ref, she's okay. She just needs a breath. She'll be up. So it means a lot. Like, it ultimately for us, it comes down to defense. Like, when we focus in on defense, everything flows for us. So Bella in her position is super important, and we need her every night.
Yeah, I guess in a key spot like that, how big were the free throws there at the end for Bella? Like, she struggled a little bit offensively over the last few games, but to hit the free throws when you had to have them.
I think it's just the emphasis on focus. Like I said before, every huddle was, hey, we got to get a stop. We have to get a stop. And we were knowing of, if it was our ball in the jump or if we were in the bonus. So it just came down to knowing what we had to do, and we had to make a play. And she was tough. So she got those free throws, and it just kind of took us there. Thank you.
Similar to what I said in our Cincinnati game, our last game, man, that was like a heavyweight fight. I thought two very good teams, very good defensive teams, very good rebounding teams went toe-to-toe tonight, and I'm actually really proud of both teams. I thought it was great competition, good, clean, aggressive play on both sides of the floor. I'm very proud of how our team battled to out-rebound these guys and have 22 offensive rebounds against Baylor is something that probably is not done very often. And so I'm really proud of that. I thought we got great looks. 28% from the floor isn't gonna be successful very often. But the fact that we just played so hard and defended and all the other things gave us a chance to win. So I'm really proud of how we played tonight.
Yeah, Coach, the way that y'all got back in it, I mean, you were down 8 and you had a chance there at the end. I mean, how proud of you are this team just to be in that spot where you could have won it there at the end?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. A lot of freshmen playing, new players playing in and out of position. And I just think it's unbelievable heart that we see when we see people diving on the floor on every other possession and, competing on the glass against kids that, probably outweigh us by a fair amount with strength and things like that. So I'm unbelievably proud.
I mean, you mentioned 22 offensive rebounds. Is that just an effort thing? Like, what possessed your team to do something like that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big number. We're typically good on the offensive glass. I think AD leads the conference in offensive rebounding. And so, but it wasn't just AD tonight. I thought collectively the team was aggressive on the glass. And we knew that with Baylor being such a good defensive team, we knew we were going to need those second chance opportunities. And I think the team just bought into that. And that's all hard because we're not, we're pretty long, but we're not, bigger than Baylor at every position, certainly.
When, shots aren't falling and, maybe it doesn't isn't the prettiest. What do you tell your team to kind of keep them focused on the task at hand?
Like during the game or after the game? During the game, execution. Execution and finishing plays. So we just wanted to make sure. They had 12 offensive rebound, but I think only 3 in the second half. How many did they have at halftime? Does anybody know? Anyway, second half was really good on the defensive glass for us. So that was what we continued to preach, was that we needed to keep them off the offensive glass, and that shots were going to fall eventually. Just keep executing.
We had 9 in the first half.
We had 9. Yeah, so 3 in the second half is incredible against these guys.
I think she was a little bit off too, but anything particularly y'all did to contain Talia Scott, obviously one of the leading scorers in the nation?
I think our team, we have a handful of players on our team that actually love to guard. They like offense too, but they take a lot of pride in guarding. And so anytime we can play a team that has a really good elite scorer like Talia Scott, I think we have some players that want that challenge. I would say there's probably 2 or 3 that would fight over the opportunity to guard her, not because she's not great, but because she's great. And so I love that about our team.
Kind of a disjointed physical game. How do you think that played in our favor in the moments that it did?
Physical games. I think this entire conference is very physical. I think every possession feels pretty physical. Like I said earlier, we're probably trying to guard people that outweigh us by 50, 60 pounds at some positions, which isn't great, but you got to sort of knuckle up and box out and do what you have to do in order to compete in those scenarios.
And we talked about a strong defensive game, but how frustrating were those missed opportunities on offense?
Yeah, super frustrating. Our players are, they're proud of how they played, but they're pretty devastated just at the missed opportunities. So many layups, and it's one thing to miss a contested 3, but it's another thing to turn on the film and just feel, man, we were right at the rim or the free throw line, whatever. But that's why you play the game, and I always say, a loss is not the end of the world, but as long as you learn from it, right? As long as you see those opportunities be better next time out, it's all good.
How impressive was Zai's output tonight, just with how she's been a little under the weather this week?
Yeah, Zai's a fighter, and I would rock with her all day, every day, just because she's tough, she's fearless. She takes ownership of what she's doing and what the team is doing. So, Zai's my girl. I love her. Did you get Brian's questions? Okay. Bye, Brian. Thanks, guys.
Come in, so maybe that answered it. I don't know. This was a tough game, but can you take something from maybe the grit or whatever that they, with both of your point guards out, that they were able to, kind of take it home, I guess?
Yeah, that was rough. I think we're usually really good executing late game situations. We weren't today. I think that. And I take that back because I thought, they jumped in, they tried to trap us. We went down the court. Kyla shot a layup. Like we broke that. And so I thought that was good. But then when they just got up and guarded us, I thought we were too nonchalant. I thought both plays, the play that Jana fouled out, the play that Talia fouled out, you know, we just were a little nonchalant, you know, and they were looking to reach and steal, and you know, and so in both of those situations, we never even got it to get into a play, you know, and then fouling a 3-point shooter. Fortunately, she only made 1 out of those 3, and then not finishing it with rebounding. I thought that was almost our Achilles heel. I mean, I thought we did a good job on the offensive glass as poorly as we shot it, but we didn't do a good enough job on the defensive glass. And that was those are two, like, we almost mirror each other. There's like 2 littles and a bunch of long people out there all at the same time. And, you know, it's not necessarily the most physical game at the rim with post players that can just bang you and score, but they played downhill and played to the paint and then sent length to the glass, and they cut, and I thought we only got beat on 1 cut, and you know, just I was surprised Bella got cut on with 15. I thought we had a chance to do a good job. Like, for the most part, we did a good job on their cutters and making them take the shots we wanted. We just didn't finish with rebounds.
I guess the message at halftime, I mean, the shooting was so bad in that first half. What was your message to them? And particularly from 3, it was really bad from there in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I thought really interesting, because I thought there were times, like, I mean, Talia was open a lot, you know, in the first half. I don't think in the second half. I thought they did a really, really good job on her in the second half. But I thought in the first half she got loose. She got loose in transition for shots. She got loose off of floppy screens, you know. And so I thought Jana got open shots. I thought Ting got, I mean, I didn't think when we played with pace, I didn't think it was bad. Obviously, neither team was scoring in that second quarter, but I thought we got really good looks. But I also thought we weren't moving with purpose. You know, we weren't understanding when are they switching versus when are they not switching, because we're usually a really good slip team if teams are switching, and we were sticking on screens. We weren't, you know, so a lot of it was like, you know, we got good shots when we played with pace, but we've got to move the ball and we've got to get in screens, and then, you know, against them, we were so effective a year ago here playing touch the paint, play behind. They flood to the paint, and we just weren't reading that. We just were not reading that we were open behind, and we did it twice, and we scored twice when we did it. And it was Bugs both times, and she had a really good game against them last year because we drove, Nettie rolled, we rose, we got to play behind because they flood the lane, and they flood the lane with incredible length. And I thought in that stretch where, you know, Ting made a shot, we did a good job getting off the ball early because they were sinking in to help. And she was ready to shoot it. And so we won't play them again until the conference tournament, but there's a lot to learn from that game.
Bella, I think, drew 3 charges, tied her career high in blocks. I mean, in a game like this, how important was she specifically in her defense and that energy?
I mean, I think she's the one that has the best understanding of like, it's almost unfair. You know, it's like a point guard that you have different expectations for offensively, that they need to know everything. It's the same way with Bella defensively. Like, our expectation for her is totally different than everybody else. And sometimes it isn't fair, but you know she's capable. And so when Dutot cut on her and she gives up a layup, it's like, dang, you know better. Like, that was just you not in a stance. And she had a freshman behind her where Markayla should have been in the slot ready to take that away if we got beat on it, and she was sucked out on a non-shooter. And so, you know, I thought she's just someone that can set the tone for us defensively. I think it was the 5 blocks. I mean, it was a little bit of everything, and she gives us the versatility to move people around, you know. And I thought even, we only ran it like maybe 2 or 3 possessions, but even in zone, you know, like, this is a team that doesn't shoot the 3 very well, and they make 4 a game, and they made 2. You know, and when you force kids that don't make 3s into taking 3s, you've done what you need to do. You just got to clean up the glass. And I think if we'd have done a better job with that, we could have gotten in transition more, which would have made offense easier. But sometimes you just got to find a way in this league to grind, you know. And for the tip-off club that was talking yesterday about us being the cardiac kids and needing some separation in some of these games, and, you know, I'm sorry. But we'll keep battling.
Bugs 1,000 rebounds. Yeah. What does that mean to you, and what does, you know, how important is that for her to reach that, especially to do it at home?
I mean, I don't know that there's like, you can define like, is it important? It just is who she is. It's, to me, it defines who she is. And when I look at that list of the top 10 rebounders in Baylor history, she's got to be the biggest lightweight. You know, when it comes to like, as the only one close to her to me is Nina Davis. And, you know, as far as an undersized, but like just a motor, like the motor just runs and goes. And, you know, I think, you know, Bugs is just someone like, to me, the exclamation point was what I thought should have been an and one. On Kyla's shot, late in the shot clock, she goes in, she gets an offensive rebound, she gets a putback. That defines Bugs to me. More than any play there is, you know, a key moment, going and doing something for her team. And I think about her freshman year, and she went and got those, but she didn't always have the ability to get that ball back up on the rim, you know. And so to see the progress of turning those offensive rebounds into points, I think that's been her biggest growth. She got her hands on everything as a freshman. She just couldn't always pull it in. And slowly but surely, I know she doesn't look any bigger, but I think she's stronger and she plays with more force. And, you know, I think I was looking at the numbers. I think she's got a legit shot to get to about 5, you know, and maybe a little better than that. And then she'll have nothing but, you know, 6'4" people in front of her.
Maybe ask about Kansas, since I don't figure we'll. Yeah, a little bit on Kansas, just what you've seen from them. They've been in a lot of close games.
Yeah, Brandon's a really good play caller. Maya Nichols is super unique in that she's like a point forward, but truly runs the point for them. And so you've got extreme like ability to touch the paint. You know, I don't know where she's at because I haven't been able to dive into the numbers quite yet. But analytically, she's usually in the top 10 in the country in fouls drawn. I did see some stat about she's maybe the most efficient player in pick and roll in the country. And so they keep that ball in the middle third, and they set them low. I think she's a deceptively good three-point shooter. She's not a high volume player, but you can't dare to shoot them. And so, cause she'll beat you from there. Jalea Davis, we recruited her, elite athlete, elite motor. She's like little bit bigger Bugs, you know, but is a scorer, down on the low block. Elle Evans, long shooter. You know, and then they got a couple of freshmen that have been real solid for them, and in Keely Parks and Fandel, like that can come in and make threes for them, and so they can go big with their bench. You know, Meester, we played against her at Indiana last year. I don't know if Reagan Williams will be back, but she was playing really well before she got injured and had added kind of the ability to make the 3, so that they could play her more at the 4, because last year she was exclusively a 5. So, you know, they don't play in transition a ton. Samaya's really, I always say she's like, when I was working with Bella this summer, I would always reference Samaya and like one dribble at a time, read your D, play one dribble at a time, keep them in hostage. But I think Samaya is what makes them really, really unique and really, really good and hard to guard. Thanks.